널 기다렸어.
Welcome back, everybody, to the StarCraft 2 Star League 2016 Season 2 Challenge matches. I am Valdez. With me is Wolf. We're back. We had a short-ish 40-minute break. Felt short for us, at least. It's been a long day.
It's been a long day, but we were halfway through our matches for the day, and now we're going to be going into the evening session here. 15 matches potentially left to go, but with such a stacked top of the bracket, or top of the score, with Trust and Classic at 5-0 and 4-1 respectively, this could end up ending, before even set 25. So we'll have to wait and see how this is going to progress. But I think we're going to take a more detailed look now at the standings.
Yeah. As we took a picture for you, Wolf did post that on Twitter. He's at ProxyWolf. I'm at Brendan Valdez. Retweeted that. Trust up on top. Classic 4-1. Gumiho in third with 3-2. The rest of them are 1-4.
Yep. And it basically takes 6 losses to get out and 6 wins to secure your spot, essentially, in this type of group. Obviously, there could be ties. Trust is basically set, though. He has 3 away wins, and he's 5-0. I think if he wins even one more game, he is out of the group for certain. But it could be that everyone ends up 5-5. So we're looking at this, make sure this is still possible. I believe, I think it's possible. Everyone could somehow end up at 5-5. He'd still win, actually, if that happens. So I think he's already actually secured his spot. Don't quote me on that, but I know for a fact if he wins one more, he will.
Yeah, for sure. And here we do have Classic. He is 4-1. He's in second place. We expected him to be in first, but Trust is having an amazing day so far. Classic not bad himself. He's only lost to Trust. So doing pretty well. If he can get 1 or 2 more wins, he's also going to secure his spot.
I just realized, and I've basically settled it out, if he loses 5 games in a row, someone could get 4 wins and tie 5-5 with 5 away wins or 4 away wins or whatever. So he does need 1 more win. Anyway, just kind of making that clear.
Okay, all right.
As we go into set 16 here, Gumiho will rematch Classic. It's the very first map we had. We're starting over. We're going into this again. And this time it's Gumiho's away map. It is the same map, but he has more to gain here.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Of course, we've been seeing a lot of Dust Towers here tonight. We're going to see it again as we go into game number 16.
No trigger, fingers go, living the dangerous life.
Well, here we are on Dust Towers, and in the red, it is Classic.
And in the blue, it is Gumiho. Just a heads up to you guys, we did not get the invite to this game, so we will not be able to check specific statistics for you guys on this particular game, but
yeah,
we're set 17 on, we should be fine.
We're going with what you guys see here. We're all watching the same stream. We're all one big happy family.
That's right. Good. We don't have any extra info, and the Korean commentators never do. So everything that is seen will be seen by all, including the Korean viewers watching TV, Korean commentators. The only person who could see more than that is Sanai, the observer, but we're already seeing what he's seeing, so he can't possibly see more than us, because anything he sees, we'll also see.
I'm glad you've worked this out, Wolf.
Yeah.
What the vision situation is for this game.
Now, if there's a second backup PC where someone's talking to Sanai, that's the only thing that we wouldn't potentially be able to see, but no one else would see it.
We do have 2 observers in the game usually, so I think one is a backup observer.
But we don't know if that's being operated by anyone at this moment in time.
It's true.
I'm putting all the possibilities out there.
You're getting them all out there. You're adding some new ones in.
Also, what we can't see, in addition, is the first-person view of Classic and Gumiho.
Oh, cover your face.
She had the bangs built in for that. She was set and ready.
All you do is push your head forward. They drop in front of you. You become the girl from The Ring. It works out.
Yeah, I still never seen that movie.
What?
But I mean,
I
heard
there's a girl randomly not watch amazing movies.
There's like a girl with bangs. She's angry. I think there's a videotape. It's supposed to be scary.
I'm not going to say anything. Just watch it.
I just watched this Korean movie, Chaser, the other day, like a few days ago.
What's the Korean name? Do you remember?
I can't remember. It's whatever Chaser is in Korean, which I don't know. It's like a weird name, but it's like the idea of like hunting, following something, chasing it. But anyway, it's a great movie, but it was really scary at first. Korean movies are scary, man.
Is that one that's really popular right now?
Well, it's from 2008, so I mean...
Oh, okay. So no.
But it was a great movie nonetheless.
Okay.
Korean movies, watch them, but if you are looking for a happy ending, don't. It's not going to happen. You watch a Korean comedy, guy dies of cancer at the end or something. It's like just never a happy ending. Just to... Spoiler alert for any Korean movie before you watch it.
It's actually true. I don't know why they always do that, but it's the truth. It's kind of sad.
It's like a really funny comedy movie about a guy who like successfully opens a flower shop, and he like branches out, gets more and more flower shop. His family's really proud of him. But then at the end of the movie, like both of his sisters die in a car accident. You're like,
why is that in the movie?
This isn't even necessary. Okay.
Yeah. Even random comedy shows, they'll add like a sad portion for some reason. They just like to evoke these emotions from the audience all the time. As, I don't know, seems like Korean audiences like that kind of thing. They like the drama. It's just their style.
Well, in this game, to bring it back for a minute, Gumiho is, yet again, no surprise, Dust Towers, TVP, factory opening. This time it's going to be Marines again into the Cyclone, the Widow Mines. He also has a very nice spotter depot at his third base, so he can see oracles or warp prisms heading that way. That's something he's neglected in some of his other matches on Dust Towers. Not so this game. He does bring one Widow Mine with this, actually. I misspoke.
Yeah,
but
just one.
It's not going to be a double fast Widow Mine drop. It's 1 mine, 6 Marines. Obviously, you guys can see that, but just making that clear.
Yeah, we're all watching the same feed, just to make that clear again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody can see anything special.
No.
Reaper's going to get it. Oh! I didn't finish the in, so I didn't technically speak that statement. It's all good.
He died at the same time the Reaper did. R.I.P. Valdez. Early caster 2014-2016.
Yeah, that was the end. So here we go. Drop coming in. Widowmine is going to get down, and he's going to pull all of his probes out of the way.
Let's see if he cancels the line. Nope.
Just going to lose in the depths.
Could have gone for more there. Nice micro here, though. This is something Gumiho is known for.
The depth survives there with about 1 health. Again, I can't check it because I don't have my PC. Here comes the Observer. Going to snipe that out.
Yeah. I think that you could have canceled the mine. If I want to be really picky, if I want to be like, I don't know, could have canceled the line.
That one really judgmental viewer that's like, I think I'm better than these guys, actually. I would have canceled that mine.
Maru would have canceled the mine. Let's be real. All right, we're doing 2 Cyclone push again. We've seen this every time. It has not really been working out. You beat SOS, but otherwise, like, this push has not been too successful. This time, however, with only a few Stalkers here, and the Marines all healed up, we got a little bit of support for those Cyclones. So it pushes the units away for a little while, and he knows exactly when Blink's going to finish. Blinks or flies away as the Blink finishes, and starts that 3rd CC back at home.
Yeah, really nice timing. At the same time, Classic keeps his 3rd Nexus up. So that's pretty nice for himself. He gets that defensive blink. He's even going armor first. So going to play it just even range style, you know. Get a bunch of observers. He hasn't made too many observers just yet. More stalkers, more so than anything else. But he's beginning the observer production now. He's getting that armor. And this is going to be a nice, long game that we got going on here.
I hope so.
Big map.
I hope so. You said range style. Look behind. Sitting over there on the commentator desk.
He's graduated. That's what happens.
The life of a Protoss pro gamer.
When you graduate from pro gaming, you go on to casting. It's like graduate school.
Well, if you're a Protoss especially, you just end up being a commentator.
Yeah, there are a lot of pros commentators
there are some
for sure.
Terran commentators out there, but most of them were just streamers, not actually pro gamers, or I think there's only one actually. Zerg. No.
And yeah, those guys don't exist. Zerg commentators.
There was...
I know Pig cast in like one event or a couple events, but...
Moonglade retired from casting. I'm like, oh.
Well, he does some Australian stuff here and there.
That's true. But he was retired from the Korean casting, which makes me sad.
Yeah.
It's because he was a Zerg. He's underpowered in the casting.
For sure.
All right, this attack is going to be seen coming a mile away by the center tower. And we're going to see yet again That Colossus tech coming out with glaives. Obviously a bit of a delayed glaive to make his Gateway army a little bit more bolstered. You know, it's funny. It took about 4 months, 3 to 4 months, and then finally people realized Colossi still have a place in this game. And yeah, the buff and all that, yeah, I know, but...
Yeah, I mean, buff helps, but still, I mean, they're still a strong unit, you know? It's kind of people were just favoring other stuff, and then eventually with the buff, people realized, like, oh, this buff, they were okay before, but now it's like, oh, you know, it helps out. This is good. This actually makes them pretty viable. So
it's just so healthy for the game that we actually have so many different viable comps right now. Even the Disruptor is still arguably viable.
Don't speak too early. We could be seeing Colossi in every matchup from now on. Like, if we shift metas into Colossi meta, that is also a possibility. So,
oh! Get one. Get him, get him.
Oh! They all survived. Only 2 lost their shields.
Hey, they lost 3 health, too.
That's true.
Down to 77 health. Disruptors, you know, we'll see if they end up settling in a place in Legacy of the Void, but right now, not so much. A lot of pro gamers didn't like him because of chance element and all that. We're not really sure. It's like kind of this crazy dodgy game. Oh, he brought his Colossus skin back again.
I guess it's allowed in individual leagues.
Well, in the other games, no one else had one, only Classic. That means Classic has the Collector's Edition. I also have the Collector's Edition. Do you have the Collector's Edition?
Yeah.
Okay.
We all have the Collector's Edition. Everyone who went to BlizzCon.
I'm like, yeah, mine's signed by Mike Morheim. I'm like, all right. Well, 4 Adepts dropping in here. Cyclone's going to help clean those up, but the Prism still alive.
Yeah, it lives on. Look at this, the mass repair. Keep that Cyclone alive.
Or Cyclone's like, let me back in the action. SV's like, nope, you're too injured. Another big warp in here. Well, this Liberator will finally get cleaned up by a Phoenix. And that should be all she wrote for that drop. Gumiho has been kind of stuck in his bases, unable to do damage, and his Liberator tech is coming along now. Finally, the Fusion Core is done. He can go ahead and add that Advanced Ballistics upgrade. But Classic is already on his way towards Fleet Beacon tech. And all this pressure has kind of kept Gumiho off his back. And he's built a decent bank as a result. And I think he's pretty ahead at this point in time. He hasn't, committed to too many Colossi, just enough to survive against any pushes that might have come counterwise from Gumiho. Gumiho's in that +1 for his Liberators, which he does get faster than he has gotten in our previous games that we watched of him.
I like the missile turret ring here. I mean, it's not really a ring, it's only a couple just to cover both sides, but it'll deal with the observers that come in and try to scout the army, but also it'll poke at the air units if they get close enough.
Yeah, the Colossus gets too cheeky, man.
Yeah, the Zealots could charge into them too.
Yeah, that's true. +2 attack done for Gumiho. So it is 2-1 to 1-2 right now on these two players. So kind of even. Obviously, Classic getting dual upgrades at the time being, so we'll be at 2-3 a little bit faster. 3 Liberators at a time coming out. We've reached the point of almost Cold War type eco racing.
Yeah, this has been one of the slowest games we've had all night. And honestly, looking at compositions, the way this is going down, the Protoss should have the advantage. Still no Ghosts in the comp, still no Vikings to deal with the Colossi, the Tempest. And he's going to need EMP for the Archons and the Storm that are following up. We see Templar Archives is finishing up here. He's even adding a 3rd Stargate, or maybe that's a 3rd Stargate now. Getting all of his upgrades. Classic really preparing for the late game very well, whereas Gumiho, it looks like he's going to rely on a big Doom drop here. And let's see if Classic notices this, if he does have an observer in position.
He's like, do you have an observer or not? And
looks like the answer is no.
Well, if he did, it's dead now. Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
See, this is the difference between... who did Gumiho beat with the same type of style just earlier?
Must
I think
have been Hurricane.
Yeah. This is the difference between Classic and Hurricane. Classic has observers in position. He doesn't just guess where the Terran army is. He knows. Now he's tagged it, and he has another observer over here. And maybe a slow reaction on responding to this. But he should actually be able to save this, I'd say. He's got plenty of Blink Stalkers coming in there. They're upgraded.
Easy peasy. Not enough Marauders in that group.
This Nexus will be weak for a follow-up attack. But again, it's just so important to have vision. Look at this. Tags. Might even get 2 Liberators here. And that he does. Widowmine here is basically negligible.
And now we see Gumiho, he's thinking about what to make. He's not even making Vikings. He's decided he has enough Liberators. He has 4. That's not enough, to be honest. That's just not
I think he's hoping to overwhelm with Marines, but there's so many Colossi here.
Yeah, there's even 3 Colossi is going to be enough.
He's basically checkmated at this point. Like, what is this? Even the 2 Siege Tank he has are not going to be useful. And as you said, like, about, what, 2 or 3 minutes ago, this is looking Classic's way composition-wise with how the slow part of the game was going.
Gumiho just never even responded in the past 2 minutes. He never made any answers to deal with this army.
All he tried to do was 1 Doom Drop. And yeah, that worked against Hurricane because he didn't have any vision whatsoever, but it's not going to work against Classic. He's going to try to go for a flank here. Classic did fight into that planetary. The force field wall goes down.
That is so huge. That's really awesome, too, because it lined up the units and gave the Colossi a nice swipe.
Barely any overlap.
He may have even been able to fight that, but I think the Tempest weren't around. Drop comes in, and it looks like 31 probes have gone down in the meantime.
Yeah, that was all happening off camera.
Yeah.
But 36 in total now. Finding a little bit more damage here. This is not the end of the world for Classic. He has 4 Nexi, a 5th Nexus actually even. So 5 Chronos he can spend to rebuild probes. And you know what, he may even just try to build a larger maxed out army because he has such a bank that he doesn't need all those probes. In fact, the probes that were in that backdoor expansion are about to be finished mining from that base, so they can simply be transferred over. He does not have vision this time. The scan knocked out the observer, but because he has all these cans, it buys him enough time he doesn't need vision. He can just re-engage. Gonna go for this Nexus, but he may get his entire army trapped as a result.
Yeah, and he's got no recall as the Terran, so he has to fight this straight up. He's going to be trapped. All these Blink Stalkers, too, are forcing the fight, and here come the Storms, hitting the majority of that army on the left side.
Just going to blink and continue to chase. Forcing one more stim would be huge, especially because he's sniping these medevacs on his way out. There's another blink. He's got one more in just a second. Kills another medevac. And now Gumiho has no recourse. He will die to the follow-up push, and that is going to be it.
Yeah, looks like it. Already a bunch of stuff in the middle of the map, and he can just walk on over and kill Gumiho. Looks like Gumiho's going to try to pull him back with some drop harass.
He doesn't
here,
care.
But
He already lost all his probes. There's no more probes to lose.
And Classic lost some units in that fight too, so he can warp in some stuff. He can build some stuff at home to defend, and he should be okay. There's no way that Gumiho holds this push.
This is a tiny, tiny army. It can't even be called an army. And Classic is fully upgraded. It's going to take a few shots to actually finally knock down this planetary, but he will get it. Gumiho could barely even afford to repair it. He doesn't even try. I think he's just coming to terms with the fact he's lost this. He had an economy to nearly max out in the time it took Classic to walk across the map, which is the only concern. But like I said, there's not much more economy for Classic to lose. And he has to actually capitalize on this advantage in army he has now, and he will.
Yeah, repair comes down, but even if he repaired that for eternity, probably wouldn't have won him the game.
He'd run out of money. He's down to 70 minerals. He's spending
even if he could, even if he had unlimited money, like, it just wouldn't matter. Classic could just go elsewhere.
Classic
Here we go.
Has +1 shields. He's soon to have +2 shields. EMPs blanket this army, but Storms still go down. He's going to kill his own observers with the Storms. It doesn't matter. And look at the Tempest at the back, adding all that extra DPS, even though it's so slow. This is going to be it. Gumiho will be taken out here. 11 Adepts for the Remax. Not even going to finish his +2 armor. GG.
There you have it. Classic winning on his map choice. Dust Towers to go up to 5-1 now. Gumiho sitting at 3-3. And obviously this is one of his harder opponents, right? He didn't have much luck against Classic earlier on, as far as I can remember. And not having too much luck there once again. Classic just playing a very solid PvT there. Nice defense against the Doom drops. He read Gumiho like a book and just made a really nice composition that Gumiho did not respond to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was that moment where, just like against Hurricane, things slowed down. He's like, I got advanced ballistics. I'm switching into Liberators. He's like, but he's getting Tempest, and what do I do? Versus Hurricane, he just sent a huge drop with Liberators and Medevacs. Hurricane guessed he was going to attack the base to the north, and he wasn't. So there were no units there, so he destroyed the main and won the game. Classic just had an observer there. And he scanned and killed it, but Classic was like, I know you're there with everything, so you can't have anything to attack my other base, which I have cannons at.
Yeah.
And then after that, he's like, oh, you didn't do anything to me? Well, now I have like a fleet of Tempests and 3/3, and I've got +1 armor.
Quite literally. Just a massive army, and he had all these different answers, too. I love the composition. He didn't add in too many Archons, even. I didn't even see one. He just had Storm instead, and he spent the other gas on Mass Tempest, the 3 Archons, and, of course, the Storm Research and the Templar. So
yeah, and
he already had enough AoE and tanking.
He had just a few Colossi, 3 in his army?
just
Maybe
3.
4 at one time, but like 3 was the one I kept seeing.
Yeah.
And if you don't have massive Vikings, you can't deal with that. If you do have massive Vikings, you have a problem because the Tempests are going to whittle you down. It's like you just can't let the Protoss get to that point, or you can't fight any battles unless you're Maru and you're like behind versus Zest and you still win and you run the round 2 Pro League Finals. But unless you're Maru, you can't let that happen.
He also didn't have that many Zealots. Like, he had maybe 10 in the mix, but he had a huge mass of Blink Stalkers too. So it seemed like Classic was expecting the Viking mass, but it just never came. But he still had all these Stalkers who were very heavily upgraded and worked really well. By the way, hi, guys.
Yeah. That's Shayla, the famous photographer down there.
Yeah.